Happy New Year! Here in real time, it is New Year's Eve at the Shala and in our world, but I want to celebrate it with you out there, our extended family, and like to offer the invitation for you to do the Sankalpa and the rituals with us after New Year's as we move into Chinese New Year, which isn't until the end of January. Every year we have this beautiful tradition that we read the poem by Rumi, Unfold Your Own Myth, for the New Year's, which I'll read next week. But for preparing for the New Year, I chose to just use the first line from the poem and the title of the poem. So the title of the poem is Unfold Your Own Myth. And it's so perfect to roll out of what we've been studying, personally, our Svadhyaya, to say, this is the story of my life, that I am the hero of this story. I'm looking at each morning being a dawn of a new day of the story of my life, each breath I take. So this is another way to say, unfold your own myth. You know, not other people's exciting stories and exciting adventures, but your life, your exciting adventures, your story, your monsters. The very first line of the poem says this: who gets up early to discover the moment light begins? And like any other beautiful poetry, it's veiled. And so we take those words and we sit with them and say, what does that mean? And for me, I want to unpack this one for you. Every time I hear this, it's so beautiful, and it goes with last week's teachings of standing in front of the ocean with my candle every morning saying, yes, yes to another day. So when I hear the first part of this poem, who gets up early to discover the moment light begins? It says to me, who's excited about life? And that is the question I ask myself when I stand with a candle and I set my intention for not only a new year, but a new decade. How am I excited about my life? What am I excited about? What gets me up in the morning? What motivates me? What do I want to create? What are my passions? How do I want to deal with my challenges? So I'd asked my students, and of course myself, to begin this new year with, as always, gratitude. But a little different because we're just ending a decade, which is 10 years of our life, 10 years of our story, and moving into another decade. So there are two ways that we get to look at it this time around: 1 year and also look at the full 10 years. So I ask you to get out your journals. I ask you to sit in meditation and spend time being grateful for this decade, for these 10 years, for all the moments, for the different things that have happened to you in that time. And I realize when I do a meditation to just say, meditate on the past 10 years and let things come up for you that you're grateful for, it's a daunting task, you know. Sometimes we need something to mark time, like what was I doing 10 years ago? What was happening in 2010 in my life? Where was I living? What was I... So this is a way I did the meditation for my students, and I welcome all of you to do it for yourself, is to have your journal ready, but to sit in your meditation position, have your candles lit, your incense lit, your eyes closed. It doesn't matter that it's after New Year's to do this with us still, as we're still moving into this time. And to begin with being grateful for the breath you are taking now, for that dawn, that you've been given another day, and to be grateful for your life. And for me, just to really sit with what that means, like this is a body I was given, this is my name, Diana, this is a life I'm living, and to just sit and be in gratitude for life. And from that gratitude of the life I was given, we're pack animals, we're tribal, we need each other. And so to sit and just gather around you 10 years of friends, of family, of doggies, of kitties, of teachers, of people who check out your groceries that you talk to whenever you're there, of your local farmers market people that you look forward to getting your flowers from. Like, just let yourself be filled with 10 years of people and feel gratitude. You know, when I was doing this, I'm always rather than being my thinking self when I'm grateful, but to let it come from a very deep place and let things surface as they will. And I realized in that 10 years when I started doing my corporate class, and that just popped up for me to be like, I love these people. I love that they're in my life. I love that I get to see them another day, another year. So allow it to be very fluid and natural. And then next, I went into being grateful for the home that I live in, for all of us, the home that we live in. What we call home is our sanctuary, our special place. And in that, what you've created in your home over 10 years. And in that, the community, the town you live in, or just the neighborhood you live in, then the town you live in. And I let that expand so wide that I'm like, I live in the United States, and maybe some of you don't. You live in Australia, you live in France. I'm thrilled to know that we have people from all over the world that are part of our family. But to sit with what that means to live where you do and feel grateful for that. Then from that place, I'm expanding that gratitude out to, where did you go the last 10 years? Now, Tamara is sitting in front of me, and she's been so many places over the last 10 years. She just was in Italy this year. I mean, this woman travels and has some fun adventures. So she gets to think of, and all of you get to think of, where did you go this year? Where did you go in your car? You road tripped. Where did you go in an airplane? Where did you go in a boat? Where did you go on your hikes this year? And be grateful for all those adventures you had and the adventure of coming home. And of course, we finish that gratitude with the present moment, this present year, and being grateful. And then when you finish your meditation, I really highly suggest that you document that by the power of writing it down. It's like the spoken word, and just filling your pages with this gratitude that came up during your meditation. And from that place, we go into Sankalpa, to setting intention. What do you want to bring in your life this year? You are not only the star of your story, the movie, you're the director. So you get to direct where your course goes. And so setting intention. So one intention I put out in front of everyone was having more balance in our life. I'm setting that as myself. Like, I want more balance in my life. I want to be out in nature more. And everyone in the room was nodding their heads. It's like everybody's goal, right? Whether you're a yoga teacher or a professor at university, it doesn't matter, right? We need to keep that balance in our life. But more than just saying that, I'm going to ask all of you to really boil that down. What does that mean to you? And why do you want more balance in your life? So I want to step out and be in nature more and spend more time walking on the ocean, hiking my dogs, because I feel more alive. I feel fresh. I feel revived. I feel the earth is my medicine, the vitamin D, the negative ions, all those things. And it boils all down to, I'm a happier person, I'm a brighter person, I'm a better version of myself. We always come down to what's at the very heart of our intention. And then I ask you to set intention around that. Like, and make it realistic for yourself, but set intention around how you're going to create that time in nature, whatever it is the goal that you're setting. And I'm adding one more thing to it this year. I believe, I'm reading a book right now that I love so much by Mark Nepo, and it's about expression, and how we are always in communion with life. And I've been so excited about how am I in communion with this day that just started with T. She's my community with the ocean, and how there was a story about he starts at the very beginning of the book with Picasso and how he lived in a certain place at a time, and you can see it in his artwork, because the horses and the fields and everything became part of what he was creating. We create in union. We are inspired in union. We are held up in union. So I ask you to choose someones in your life that, two things. One is, I want to say to Tamara, like, my commitment is to have more balance and to be in nature more. And I'm telling you that because I want you to hold me accountable. When you see me, I want you to say, hey, Di, did you take any walks this week? That's accountability, that's communion, that's people supporting each other. In our intentions to live at a higher vibration, and how we do that is like we support each other to do that. The other one is fun, because I want you to realize, I realize how I am a person, I'm a tribal person, I'm a pack animal, so my life is richer because of the friendships, because of my mom, because of my dad. And so to set intention with them is to say, this year I want the we of me to vibrate higher. So your partners, what intentions could you set together with the people that you wake up next to and that you love? What intentions can you set with your children for this year? And even individually, like maybe as a family, but also individually. What intentions could you set with your best friend? That's like, hey, this year, let's make this commitment to each other. I think is a really a beautiful way to go into the new year, to raise your vibration as a tribe. So my message to all of you was this: unfold your own myth. Who gets up early by heart I can't read it. Who wakes up early to discover the moment light begins? So I ask you that. Who's excited about life? John O'Donohue, time is marked by light. We stand at the edge of a new year, and the movie in front of us is our life. We are the star. We are the hero and heroine. This week we practice gratitude and reflect on a decade of our hero's journey. Looking and leaning ahead, set intentions that draw you into showing up for the moments of your life. Namaste.